This video covers the second half of Fishtank Season 1, from day 22 to the bitter end. To watch the story from the beginning, start with part 1. Link is in the comments. Now only 4 fish remain. Vance, Letty, Sylvia, and Josie will battle it out for a chance at the $35,000 grand prize and a place in Fishtank history. Welcome to hell. Welcome to the Fish Tank. Day 22. After Daniel threw all of Letty's belongings into the porta potty, the production team has asked her to make a list of all the items that were destroyed.
You think we're gonna take our time to find Kat Von D Trooper Black Gel Eyeliner?
Well, you got it for Sylvia and she didn't even lose it.
Okay, how about $225 and a Little Caesars pizza?
It was like at least $500.
I'm thinking more like $250.
No.
After Letty refused this generous offer, unfortunately Jason had an important call to attend to and told Letty they could continue negotiations later. Mr. Goldstriker then went into the kitchen and asked Lance if he would like to leave the tank and join him for a role in his upcoming TV show, World Peace 2. Lance packed his bags and left with Jason. Jet returned back to the house later with a surprise. This is Ella. Chat quickly figured out that she was supposed to be a Josie doppelganger when she started playing with a fidget spinner. So if Simon is a Simmons doppelganger, Lance is a Vance doppelganger, and Ella is a Josie doppelganger, who is Chris supposed to look like? For dinner, Chris decided to treat the fish to some of his legendary cooking. By day 23, the production team had allowed the Frank Hassel meter to fill from both season passes and fish toy purchases. And producer and resident life coach Ben tells Josie that most of the show's revenue at this point is coming from people buying her plushies. Ben tells her it's great that she has a lot of plushies, but she needs to keep asking for more to keep the show from going bankrupt. She looks at the camera and asks for a plushie, and within 1 minute, a Josie cell pays the $500 US required to get her a new toy. This would be the day that the Frank Hassel meter hit 100%. This is gonna hurt. To celebrate Frank's arrival, Jet brought the fish alcohol and Frank's reign of terror began.
I could probably throw you far, too.
Dumb.
Like really far.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I'm
You
normal.
just got in here and you're talking about throwing me through a window? What the hell?
You said you wanted to go outside. I hope the 500 was worth it. It was more where this came from.
Frank would continue smashing things and sneaking into Josie's room to cull the plushie population throughout the night. The next day, Simon is elected president of the Fish Tank, and the citizens are led in a pledge of allegiance to their new leader. Simon's new laws include forcing the fish to watch Chris's stand-up routine for at least 10 minutes a day, no wearing socks or shoes, no one is allowed to wear makeup, no one is allowed to smoke or vape, and everyone must work out with Chris for 1 hour per day. This immediately causes trouble as several of the fish are extremely addicted to vaping, namely Sylvia and Ella. Things in the tank are heating up, and after only 2 days, Ella taps out. Before leaving, she tells the fish, "I thought I could handle it." It didn't take long for Letty to upset the new political order of the tank and draw the wrath of President Simon's enforcer, Frank Hassel. Letty's fans in chat asked that Frank treat Letty fairly and listen to her side of the story, but everyone else demanded to see some actual war crimes committed.
Letty touched the president, tried to assassinate him, so now she's going to jail.
Frank leaves Letty in the garage and then returns to shower her in fart spray. He then interrogates her about the alliances in the house, asking if she has any information that would be useful for him to turn people against each other. Letty doesn't give up very much information and only says that of all the people that hate her, Sylvia hates her the most. Frank is dissatisfied with the quality of the information Letty gives him and leaves her handcuffed in the garage to contemplate her actions. After several hours of incarceration, Letty gets a visitor.
This actually past 3 years, knocking me every day.
Oh, I actually relate to you so much in that I spent like the last 2 years also being in our room every single day. Okay.
That's okay.
Day 25. The fish toys are updated with Shark Attack, allowing viewers to pay for sharks to mess with the contestant of their choice, Dump the Can, which will trigger a shark to dump the trash can out onto the floor of the house, and scream at Letty.
Don't lose your voice, Ben.
Frank has had a change of heart today and extends an olive branch by including Letty in one of his schemes.
Should I do with this?
Is that poop?
Yeah.
Is that your poop?
Yeah.
Frank asks Letty if she'd like to deploy this weapon in a solo cup somewhere in the house. After initially turning him down, Letty changes her mind and warms up to the idea of leaving a steamy surprise in Sylvia's closet.
Oh, God, that's disgusting.
Letty goes downstairs where the gang is having fun in the living room with a new robot dog that plays music and freeloader Chip. Chip's a recurring guest and he comes and goes as he pleases. And Chip is not pleased with the robot dog.
It is going great. I'm glad you agree.
Hey! No!
Smash that thing.
Don't do that!
Smash that thing.
No!
Smash
No!
it.
That's the only person
Break it.
we have here!
Go up again.
You got it. I feel like me and Frank and Joey.
It doesn't take long for Sylvia to discover the gift in her closet, and she's immediately suspicious of Frank, who denies it. Sylvia is seriously near her limit, and Jet arrives on the scene to open an investigation into who dropped the load in Sylvia's closet. Jet asserted that someone had paid for the fish toy that brings down a camera during the crime, so there's no video footage to review. He would have to crack this case the old-fashioned way. Jet begins to interview everyone in the house to get their version of events and identify suspects. Josie believes it was Frank due to him going into Sylvia's bathroom to mess with her makeup. She also suggests that it might be Chip, but she's not sure. Josie is quickly ruled out as a suspect and deputized by Jet to help him find and prosecute the perpetrator of this heinous crime. Jet then brings Simon into the interrogation room. Simon suspects that the culprit is Chip. Letty says she suspects Vance, saying he's been wearing weird sunglasses and walking around with his shirt off a lot lately. This makes Detective Jet suspicious.
If I pinch this sicko, when he gets on stand, he's going to be saying, that was Dark Vance. Dark Vance did it. He's going to plead insanity.
Yeah, you can't let him plead insanity.
Jet then brings in Vance for questioning.
Did you run an interview like I'm running one right now?
Do you think it'd be best if I talk to her?
Are you serious? What the hell? I'm not even fucking understand.
Detective Jet interviewed Letty again, but this time with the lawyer she asked for. They decide that they need a fall guy. Jet has to hit his numbers at the station and the fish are all pointing fingers at each other. They decide to frame none other than President Simon.
What do you do?
He had poop in a cup and he poured it into the closet.
What type of cup?
Poop in a
A
cup?
red solo cup.
And how does that happen?
Like this one?
Yes,
The red
just like
cup?
that one.
Okay.
You pooped in a cup?
I mean, people are accusing me of that, you know? I might have too much to drink, so I don't know.
As soon as Simon suggests that he feels like he's being set up, Detective Jet and Letty's attorney Ben decide that they should settle the matter in a court of law. The jury will decide if Simon is innocent or guilty. Simon entered a plea of not guilty with his bodyguard and attorney Frank at his side. Letty testified that she had walked in on Simon in the middle of planting the gift in Sylvia's closet, saying that he was very intoxicated and probably wouldn't remember doing it himself. Detective Jet painted a picture of a careless President Simon, who was getting drunk that night and letting his country fall apart. During the trial, Letty's attorney searched the house for evidence again, and produced what the prosecution claimed to be a second poop cup, this one still full. The trial had progressed to the point where a preliminary jury vote had to be taken. The jury consisted of Frank, Vance, Sylvia, Chris, and Josie. Jet asked the jury to raise their hands if they believed President Simon was guilty as charged. The entire jury, except for Vance, raised their hands. Ben then asks if anyone on the jury believes Letty is the culprit, and Vance raises his hand. Without a unanimous jury vote, the court could not convict their suspect. Detective Jet asks Vance why he believes state witness Letty is responsible for the crime, and Vance explains that during the cell challenge, Letty peed in a cup in the closet. Leaving poop in the closet of her worst enemy in the house just seems to make sense. Jet sent the jury to deliberate and come to a unanimous decision. During the jury deliberation, Chris argued that Letty was not smart enough to come up with a plan this devious by herself, and that the evidence didn't fit with Letty.
Her poops are more like rabbit turd.
Have you seen it?
Have you seen her
Have I
poop?
seen the poop? Yes, I've seen the poop.
How have you seen her in the cup, right? How have you seen her, Chris? How do you know it looks like rabbit poops?
Tell us how you know what her poop looks like.
And she's told me about it. Now look.
Wow. You guys getting this? You guys getting this?
That's insane.
After deliberations went on for some time, the jury was summoned back to the courtroom. This time, the prosecution asked the jury to raise their hand if they thought Simon was guilty. Only Chris raised his hand. And for Letty's guilt, everyone else raised their hand. Chris's attempts to defend Letty had backfired massively. Fearing for the safety of his state witness, Detective Jet declared a mistrial as the jury could not come to a conclusion. It appeared that President Simon was off the hook. For now. The next day, a familiar face returned to the tank.
Lance. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. How you been? Holy shit. A meeting of the minds. Lance.
Frank.
Nice.
This means war. Lance and Vance rebelled against the tyranny of President Simon and his enforcer Frank by terrorizing Frank all day. During a lull in the combat, Frank offers to help Chris put war paint on his face.
No, I don't!
It would not be long before Jason arrived to the house to set the fish straight. Jason informed everyone that Simon had been given a secret mission to break the fish tank and that he had succeeded.
Simon, as you know, I know you're playing coy, but you're walking away with $50,000.
What?
That's your prize.
In addition to the $50,000, Mr. Goldstriker told Simon that a town car would be picking him up to take him to the airport, where he would ride a private jet to Fishtank headquarters in Las Vegas. And with that, there was one less freeloader in the tank. Jet comes back to the living room shortly after and explains that the show is basically out of money after giving Simon the $50,000, but that they're in the process of selling the show to a new investor. He can't say who it is, but with new money and new ownership comes new restrictions.
They are requesting me to address right now is Frank, the whole thing. With the new network ownership, we're not going to be able to do this. You're going to have to go.
I have to leave?
Yeah.
Like out?
Yeah,
Like I'm gone?
pretty much
Are you
right.
serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Come on.
I mean, I have to do
For
it.
real?
Yeah, if I don't do this, like, the whole show is over, so. And that was the first thing they said, get this guy out of here, like, right now. Don't do anything crazy, man. Just take it with grace, I guess.
I mean, I waited months to come here.
I know you waited for months.
Frank tried to throw Letty under the bus, saying she was the one who actually planted the poop. But Letty said she only did it because Frank told her to.
I'm done.
You're not going to break anything on the way out, right?
I go to the
Thank you to our new investors. We're going to turn this whole show around, okay? This show is just going to keep getting better, okay? And any little mistakes we can rectify.
With 2 freeloaders gone, the temperature in the tank continues to rise. Before long, everyone in the house would be pitted against each other. Day 27. Jet gives Josie and Sylvia a secret mission. He asks them to hang up 30 pictures around the house of a familiar-looking cryptid. They cannot be caught while doing this or the mission fails. If they succeed, Jet will buy them dinner from wherever they want the next night. The fish are brought more alcohol, and Lance takes the opportunity to teach the Americans and Canadian in the house a little bit about his Australian culture. By this point in the show, both Chat and everyone in the house have started to become annoyed with Chris. He never stops talking. And one of the only ways to get him to stop talking is to get him to sing his favorite song.
And she said, be as simple
That afternoon, Jet called a house meeting to announce the next major challenge.
Here's the rules. Chris, Letty, your new set is upstairs. You gotta G-check anyone that's stepping your territory. Your territory's sacred. And without your corner, what the y'all even doing? Is y'all even blood?
The house was to be split up into rival gangs. Chris and Letty, now named Fat and Elward, were the Bloods. Their territory to defend was the upstairs. Vance, Sylvia, and Josie were the Crips, now called Pill, Peppa, and Jose. Elward and Jose were named the leaders of their respective sets. While the gang war was going on, the fish were also expected to study. In 1 week, there would be a test. Math, writing, and Jason Goldstriker lore would be on the test. Whoever scored the lowest would be eliminated. Jet then informed the gang members that if they got clipped doing some gangster activities, they would be assigned a point. If they said a certain word in the clip, they would be assigned double points. Fat took this challenge very seriously.
Now here's the thing.
Can we get some here?
Double points.
Jet informed the gangsters that one of them might be going home if they didn't get gangster enough, and whoever wins the challenge would get 2 fish bucks each. The war was on. Fans took notice of how quickly introverted Josie came out of her shell when she started cripping as Jose. The Crips made a raid deep into enemy territory to steal supplies, but they're unable to extract all of Jose's plushies, leading to a large-scale confrontation.
She's realizing. Yeah. You right.
You who the fuck is this is mine?
Hey, yo, what's up? Come on.
Right.
Hey. Hey.
Where's that? Hey, put the down. Put shit down. Where's my shit?
Plushie stuffing is spilled as the street war heats up. It seems nothing can stop the devastation being committed in this community. That night, Fat offers to cook dinner for everyone. This could be the beginning of much-needed peace talks to stop the bloodshed.
Incoming smoke alarm.
I hope not. I hope that's a little more from you.
The next day, the producers bring in a special guest to teach the gang members how to make a special kind of white rock candy. After the candy inspection, Jason discusses Chris's continued advances with Letty.
He's offering you a back rub?
Yeah.
Well, how did he say it? What did he say?
He keeps saying it because I was like, my back hurts from this bag. And he's like, oh, I can give you a back rub. You can do it over the clothes.
Are you gonna let him do it?
I didn't say yes or no,
You
but
gotta do it.
I have to.
Yeah, it'll be epic. It would be so awesome.
I don't know.
The fellas out there, they're gonna go wild over you.
I'll do it if you give me a fish buck. Oh. I will do it for a fish buck.
Yeah, okay, that's happening.
The producers have been in Chris's ear too, and he goes to Letty's room to profess his love. After she tells him off, he walks away singing.
You have fun in here, okay?
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
My papa told me an old fishing boat.
That night, a familiar face returns to the tank. Morrow is back, this time as a freeloader. He can't win the $35,000 grand prize now, but he can compete for fish bucks and cause chaos. But Morrow isn't the only person to walk in the door that night.
You guys bought the fish tank.
Yeah, he just came out like that. Hi. Hello. Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey. Come in. Have a drink. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How's the family reunion going? Please stick around ASAP.
Guys,
It's June 27th.
I want to introduce you to our new friend, our fellow freeloader, Betty.
Jed informed the fish that they were entering Act 3 of the show. Only 2 weeks remained. He told them that Act 3 is where the conflict comes to a head and the hero is chosen. They all drank to their impending doom.
Fishtank.
Fishtank!
Day 30. Letty and Betty's relationship gets off to a good start.
3. Let's go!
Chris walked around the house completely naked for most of the day. The next challenge was announced the following day when Jet carried several boxes of alcohol into the house. This is the drunk piece challenge. The 2 biggest drunk pieces of would win a fish buck. Note that this is what the house looks like at approximately 4 p.m. Less than 2 hours later, Betty has begun seasoning Letty's belongings with mustard. Betty and Letty both decide that the other one needs some sauce. They have only been drinking for 2 hours at this point. Chat repeatedly asks Betty to show a little bit more of herself through text-to-speech. She gladly obliges multiple times. After 3.5 hours of heavy drinking from the fish, Mr. Goldstriker arrives to the house to administer the test. Someone is getting eliminated tonight. The Goldstriker exam began. The fish were quizzed extensively on Jason Goldstriker's backstory, mathematics, and reading comprehension for over an hour. After trying to focus their buzzed brains to avoid elimination, the fish are sent upstairs while the production team grades the tests. Letty opens up to the other fish about why she's desperate to not go back home.
Some people probably think that's nice, that you get to like do nothing all day, and like people would kill for that chance that like I had basically, that you can do whatever you want all day. But when your life is so aimless and it's like the same thing every single day, it's just horrible. I really don't want to go back to that, which is one of the reasons that I came here, was to try and get myself like out of that rut of like doing nothing all the time basically.
Because I'm proud of you for even doing this. You know, like I know I've given you fun. It's because I see myself in you. Like we're the same age. I see myself in you so much, and I just want to see you succeed. Like remember that. Like you can't succeed if you don't try.
After nearly an agonizing hour of waiting to see who will be eliminated, the fish are summoned back down to the classroom for the results.
We're gathered here to see off someone that I would call a friend, someone I would say has a bright future ahead of them. But nevertheless, we must give someone the boot.
Chris scored the lowest of anyone on Jason lore, but the highest on the math section. Betty scored the lowest overall.
You got a 5 in the math section. You got a 13 on writing. Are you drunk? Are you drunk?
Not really.
Were you drunk when you took the test?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, well you got the lowest combined score out of anybody. But I guess you have an excuse like everything else in your life.
Betty then received the prize for lowest score. Next, it was time to reward the winners. Chris and Betty won the drunk piece challenge and were awarded 1 fish buck each. Josie and Letty scored highest on the test and received 3 fish bucks each, which just left either Vance or Sylvia to be eliminated.
Sylvia, come over here. You beat out some freeloaders, but unfortunately you had the lowest of the fish. And I think we all have grown very fond of you. And the production staff really like you a lot. We think you're a great girl. And you did a good job entertaining people. But it's time to go. You did a really good job. Listen, thanks for being here. Thanks for doing this. You did good. Alright, so everybody, please give Sylvia a round of applause.
I'm gonna start fighting.
Even though I hate you, kind of.
Sylvia packed her bags and said her goodbyes. It's day 32. Betty is nowhere to be found. Earlier at about 4:30 in the morning, Morrow had attacked her bed, leaving sauce and a bunch of gross trash on it. After finding the mess and cleaning it up, Betty was seen wandering the halls upstairs holding her opossum plushie. Jet comes to ask her if she's okay, and she says nothing is wrong, but clearly something is wrong. She ends up packing her bag and leaving the house. In the morning, Chris tells Letty he knows she has a crush on him and she should just admit it.
Chris, you're delusional. Put simply, if you think that I like you, you're delusional.
I think the f***ing dudes downstairs told me about your confessionals and how much you crush over me.
Later, Jet has an important question for Chris.
I'm thinking of how I'm going to phrase this.
Be straight up.
Would you rather have a back hooker or a working or like a rechargeable CBD vape?
What are we talking about here?
Just as like a surprise.
As much as I'd love to go for a hooker, the CD vape is a better choice.
Okay.
But the peaceful start to the day is short-lived as Chris has lost his bag and is having a meltdown. Someone in chat buys a shark attack, so the white shark comes upstairs and starts shooting Chris with a Nerf gun.
Chris, be calm. What would Anakin Skywalker do in this situation?
He'd kill everyone.
Morrow and Chris are not getting along, and Morrow offers to exchange slaps with Chris. Chris plays it off in the moment, and Vance comes to talk with him later in his room. Chris says that Vance is the only person in the house that he has a connection with, and tells him that he plans to leave the house for good in the morning. Chris's last wish is for Vance to tell Letty that he never actually had any feelings for her. The next morning, Chris packs his things and leaves the house. Jet then calls a house meeting with an important announcement.
Guys, we've been working all season long to find a homeless black guy to live with you. And today, with only 9 days left, we've done it. But it is a package deal. He comes with a friend. That's why I'd like to introduce you.
Yo, this is nice. What up, y'all?
Hey.
Yo.
Alex. Meet Alex, guys. Alex, could you introduce your relationship with Dontarius, how you guys know each other? Because you guys are pretty tight.
This is Dontarius. This is my wife's boyfriend.
The two new freeloaders start to get acquainted with the fish, and Letty tells Alex she knows his whole thing is an act. She calls him Irony Guy. He immediately drops the act and starts trying to make small talk with her. Nothing phases these fish anymore. The fish are not locked in a house with Alex and Dontarius. Alex and Dontarius are locked in a house with these fish. Not long after, Chris unexpectedly returns to the house, as does the lady of the night that the production team hired for him. She starts to give him a back rub but gets grossed out and leaves the room, saying he smells like poop. Jason is not happy with this development and goes to talk with Letty about it.
So now it's on you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Just get another tattoo on the forehead.
You have to give Chris some female attention.
Why don't you ask Josie to do it?
Buddy, you are you crazy? You know what her orbiters would do to me if I asked Josie to do it? I'd get a call.
Frank Hassel also returns to the house. He immediately sets his sights on Morrow, who has become seen as a villain after running off Betty and Chris. Frank smashes the bathroom door open while Morrow is in there, and then goes to make plans with the fish on how to antagonize Morrow further. Sensing the walls closing in around him, Morrow quickly packs his things and leaves the house in a hurry. That night, Vance has been encouraged by the text-to-speech chatters to shave his head. He says he'll do it, but only if Josie shaves her eyebrows off too. Both agree. Jason says he should lose the beard too, but Vance says no. He hasn't shaved clean in years and doesn't intend to. Vance says Letty should join in and shave her armpits since she's talked about them being natural before, but she declines. Josie sets up a makeshift barbershop in the kitchen, leading to the second most glorious unintentional Renaissance painting photo of the whole show. Chris gets the classic monk cut and tries to romance his lady again, leading to the #1 best photo from the show thus far. The next day, Dontarius is seen on cam in bedroom 2 tenderizing his sausage. The production crew turns the camera off and Jet tweets, "Bedroom 2, every time." Day 35. Dontarius wakes up on the kitchen island in a very conspicuous position. Later in the day, he's caught smoking some of that white rock candy the fish made with Sean. Jet confronts him and Alex about it. Alex says that it's Letty's fault for exposing Dontarius to illicit substances, since he claims to have seen her smoking weed earlier.
Nothing to do with the problem at hand, Alex.
Dude,
I was smoking. He's smoking.
He's a homeless guy. It's medicinal. It's for his energy. His energy levels have been low. It's
I watched the bitch nigga. I did everything I had to do, man. They just gonna fucking throw me out.
All right.
Dontarius and Alex are unceremoniously kicked out of the tank. The challenge for the day is to not stop moving. Whoever wins this challenge will be granted immunity from the next elimination. Only Josie, Letty, and Vance remain. The end is starting to get very near, and immunity guarantees a spot in the tank right up until the very end. As punishment for Letty smoking herb, Chris and Letty get taped together for the day and lose the challenge almost immediately, leading to one of the funniest comments thus far. This is like Jabba the Hutt dragging around Princess Leia. While this challenge is going on, a familiar fish returns to the tank.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
How are you? I heard a lot about you.
A lot about you, too.
Yeah. Feels good to have a man back here.
I'm going to have to say some stuff, though. Yeah. You guys all have to do some even and genuine.
The Don't Stop Moving challenge goes late into the night, as Vance and Josie have teamed up, determined to keep each other in the game.
Oh my gosh, Big Boss! Big, okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Josie goes on to win the challenge and immunity from elimination for the next one, meaning she will for sure be able to compete for the grand prize. Josie is heartbroken as her and Vance's alliance has turned into a genuine friendship by this point. The prospect of losing him to elimination is not an outcome Josie wants to consider. But now, either Vance or Letty must be eliminated in the next challenge. By day 36, the hatred between Chris and Letty has reached a fever pitch. They spend the day destroying each other's stuff and screaming at each other. While this is going on, Jason sends out an ominous tweet. Your faithful servants request your presence. Fishtank Live, on in 15. And if we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. 15 minutes later, Jason arrived at the house and called a meeting. He tells Vance that he is giving him his easiest challenge ever. Just shave the beard. Vance asks what the stakes are, and Jason says, the stakes are elimination. Without hesitation, Vance does it. He is in this to win the grand prize. Jason then begins to explain why he's really there.
So the contractor that came by the house today said that we did $60,000 of damage to this place, which I don't understand how it's possible, but I guess they don't make this type of cupboard anymore, so they have to do the whole thing. And then this floor it's not just cosmetic apparently. But the broader point here is that the costs of this project are kind of overrunning the money that it's bringing in. We're making like $7,000 a day, which sounds like a lot of money, but it's not enough to offset the cost of all this that we never thought was going to be a cost. There's just so many costs associated with this that we didn't think were going to be a thing. So what we're deciding to do is we're going to close it out early. The final elimination is just going to be we're going to deliberate on. We're going to go downstairs. We're going to deliberate. We're going to choose who was the most entertaining, who did the best on challenges, who the fans liked the most. That's only a partial thing. It's not going to be a popularity contest. And I know that's whack, but it's the popularity has kind of dwindled, and I know that people have dedicated sicko fan bases, and we love you guys, but there's not enough. You've heard the TTSs stop flowing in, the plushies stop coming. No, it's not your fault. It's just one element of it. It's a very small aspect of it. But
so that was it. The show was over. The crew went downstairs to decide who would take home the grand prize of $35,000, and then they would be ending the show. After an antagonizing amount of time waiting, Jason and the producers return from the basement. He tells each contestant that he's very proud of them and talks a little bit about his favorite moment with each of them. And then it was time to end it all.
This is just the person who we think made the show as strong as possible. And that person is Letty.
Are you serious?
We're serious, okay. And this is not playing favorites. We've been accused of favoritism, but it's just the grit. You got dumped on you. pretty heavily, and you won.
After everything that had gone on for 36 days, Letty had emerged victorious. It makes sense that a person like that would win in a place like this. Jason explained that everyone would be paid the fish bucks that they won in a timely manner. If they had kept the show going any longer, they would have run out of cash and been unable to pay the contestants. Jet tweeted, "I'm sorry I couldn't see it out till the end. I'm embarrassed by my inexperience, but still grateful that I was ever given a chance. I owe Jason for putting trust in me, and I owe the fans so much for giving a about this. Thankful this ever happened. Bless." But not everyone was happy about Letty's victory.
Fuck that bitch.
And with that, everyone packed up their bags to head to the hotel, and the cameras were cut. It was over. And then, it wasn't. After about 45 minutes, cameras started to come back up. Jet explained that at the last minute, a wire transfer from a new investor had come through and saved the show. Dr. Disrespect.
Doc!
The fish tank had been saved. Day 37. A new set of challenges is rolled out. Letty and Vance do not have immunity. Whichever one performs worse in these challenges will be eliminated. For the first challenge, Chris was made king of the house. Everyone else is his slave. Jason explains why Chris was chosen.
And Chris, you've been chosen because of your physique. In ancient times, you would have been a captain of a war brigade.
John has but one favor to ask of his new master, Chris.
Someone stole my Bible. Could you get them to give it back to me?
Who took the Bible?
Chris put the entire house to work cooking and cleaning for him and told them to find John's Bible. Before long, John starts throwing pulpy gray matter at Letty. It looks like he found something in the washing machine. Jet and Jason try to console John, reminding him that he came with 2 Bibles and telling the fish that they're not allowed to touch the other one. Inside John's head, wheels are turning. He gets really quiet. He then goes upstairs and starts looking in the bathrooms for something. The whole time, the production crew follow him around trying to console him. John then goes to hide in the crawl space in the garage, and Jason tells him he can break some of Letty's stuff in retaliation. It turns out that John had already found exactly what he was looking for.
And you ask Massa.
Nobody in the room but John knows this yet, but that is Letty's passport. Letty is Canadian, and if something happens to that passport, she's going to have serious problems with immigration.
You can't.
John, you said anything.
Obviously, you can't break your passport. No, you can't do that.
John, you gotta stop doing that. She can't go home.
You guys said anything.
All right, let's go in the basement. Why would we let you break your passport when
John quickly realizes that he's overplayed his hand, gathers his stuff, and leaves the tank. A couple of hours after John leaves, Jet announces the next part of the challenge, the Biggest Menace Challenge. Jet tells the fish that their objective is to terrorize, cause havoc, make people cry, and destroy each other without doing anything illegal. Vance and Letty quickly begin battling it out.
I'm wiggling my wiener at you. What are you gonna do?
Hold it out!
Take a bite off my wiener, Vance. Take a bite off of it.
Chris can't really be bothered to get up for this challenge, but he has some choice words for Letty.
Well, they all know you want to. Boy, every guy that comes through here.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, you got open door policy.
Not you, Chris. Not you.
The next day, Jet tells Vance and Josie that he understands that they're friends, but they need to put that aside if they really want to win this challenge. Vance agrees and decides that if they can just bully each other, that will leave Letty with less people to menace. Vance got Josie to say that she f***ed him over for money, but the cameras didn't pick it up. Vance summons producer Ben to record them menacing each other.
Come on. Will you look me in the eyes and do it again?
I can't. I literally can't.
Yes, you can. Come on. Say it. What did you do?
You said it was...
It's not okay. Because look at this. I'm f***ing this challenge. I'm f***ed.
This backfires as Josie starts crying and hides in the closet. Neither of them were able to be particularly menacing towards each other, but Josie still has immunity. Shortly after, Goldstriker arrived to the house to eliminate one of the fish.
And quite frankly, Vance, the qualities that make you a good person, make you a solid dude, and have earned you a large fan base, failed you this time around. You're always willing to give a pep talk to whoever's having a mental crisis at the moment, which is a daily occurrence. You've had John sobbing on you. You've had probably every person in this house, staff included, crying on your shoulder. You've impressed us all. You've impressed the audience. You've impressed the production staff. You earned yourself a role in World Peace 2. And we think the world of you. But unfortunately today, you are being eliminated.
Jet told Vance that he had left a legacy worth leaving in Fishtank history.
Yeah, for real.
Let's go! Only 2 fish remain now. They know whatever happens next will be the hardest 4 days of their lives. If only they knew what that meant, they might leave right now. Day 39. A new shark appears. This one's clothes match his heart, black. The black shark begins hauling supplies upstairs to one of the bedrooms. The same room where Simmons slept before he was found out. The same room where Letty peed in a cup during the cell challenge. The same room John kicked a hole in the wall when he heard the entity. The same room Dontarius beat his meat in on camera. This room carries a deep curse. Of course, it all ends here. Fishtank always had to end in bedroom 2.
Over the next 4 days, the 2 of you will be tested in ways that most people would not be able to pass. Many weaker, lesser fish have tried. They are not standing here before me for the final challenge. You 2 have made it. On the one hand, good. On the other hand, evil. They will now do battle on the world stage for you all. Who will win? It's up to fate at this point.
The final challenge would officially be called the Cell 2 Roman numeral 2. Jason says there will be a gauntlet of up to 42 mini challenges the girls will have to participate in. Winning a challenge would get them a point.
At the end, if you're both still here and not dead, whoever has the most points will win $35,000.
The prisoners are given their rags to wear and told their score will be kept on the notepads on the walls. Josie's score is on the left and Letty's is on the right. Whoever has the most points at the end of the next 4 days wins. If either one leaves the room, regardless of how many points they have, they lose. Before they kick off the next challenge, Jason has one more trick up his sleeve. A Chris doppelganger is going to join the tank. He tells them that later on, they'll have to determine if the fat guy creeping around their room is in fact Chris or someone else in complete darkness. Jet says the fish tank house will become the fat guy house. And with that, the Cell 2 Roman numeral 2 began. They kicked it off with the Don't Stop Talking challenge. Josie and Letty were instructed to tell each other as much about themselves as possible. Whoever talked the longest without running out of things to say would get a point. Josie ended up winning and received the first point. As the night went on, the new freeloader appeared, Christian. The mini challenges continued for several hours until Mr. Goldstriker had an announcement.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will introduce to you a challenge that is particularly devilish. A challenge we call the Roly-Poly Challenge.
Jason instructed Chris and Christian to lie down on the floor and roll back and forth while Josie and Letty had to jump over them like a Mario Party minigame. The first one to trip and fall on one of the human obstacles would lose. When Christian got too tired to keep rolling, the girls both started jumping over Chris.
That's some good speed. That's some good speed.
Josie failed to jump with both feet as Jason had instructed, so Letty was awarded the point for this challenge. Chris and Christian were then utilized for another challenge, body painting. The most interesting body painting wins. Letty said she was trying to paint Saturn eating his own son, but had forgotten what it looked like. Josie's landscape on Christian canvas won the challenge. The grueling challenges continued late into the night. There is not a clock in this room. The onslaught of demands from Jason continued rapid fire, non-stop. How many minutes had passed? How many hours? The prisoners were cracking. How long until one of them breaks? How long until Goldstriker breaks? Maybe he already has. By the time everyone is getting ready for bed after day 39, the difference in the house from day 1 to now is striking. Only the freeloaders roam the house freely, and the 2 remaining fish are confined to a single room. Day 40 saw the Wild West Challenge, Impression Challenge, and a Cardboard Crafting Challenge. Josie's creation was better and she was awarded the point. The score is now Josie 19, Letty 17. Later, a new friend enters the tank.
Oh, it's a little baby goat! That is so cute! That is so adorable! It's real! Hi!
New fish toys are added for goat feeding, goat watering, and goat massage. The micro challenges continue with the goat in the room. The fish's scores stay very close all throughout the day. Late that night, a Tickle Chris challenge is performed. Then, Josie and Letty are told for the next challenge they need to disavow their fan bases. Whoever does this most convincingly gets the point.
And honestly, you guys do scare me. Not just on the show. I'm terrified of Josie cells in the real world. I'm terrified of meeting a Josie cell at the Dave & Buster's. I've heard there are Josie cells waiting for me. And that's terrifying.
Why would I want some loser support? Like, I don't even care what you have to say. I know you're just a loser that's sitting at home and spending money just to try and talk to me. That's so pathetic. You don't even know me. I'm just pixels on a screen to you, and you're spending money to send me TTS messages telling me that you love me. I don't know who you are.
At some point, it becomes day 42, the final day. The room gets completely destroyed and the door is jammed. Jason has a solution.
There we go, I guess. Okay.
After a few more challenges, it's 50 points for Letty versus 50 points for Josie. Jason has a pool brought into the room and filled with mud. The mud wrestling match will be best of 3. Whoever wins this gets the final point and wins Fishtank Season 1 and the $35,000 grand prize. The battle is on. After a brutal melee, Josie wins the first round. They go again. Josie gets Letty on the back foot and pushes her out of the pool. Then Jason says the match is a best of 5. Josie wins again. The production team begins to assign the points. They assign Josie infinity points and Letty question mark points.
Do we ever really know how many points someone truly has? That's the real question. Each and every one of us every day is being judged.
Don't worry, guys.
Tallies being taken by unknown forces. Who's watching us really tallying the points?
We love you, Daddy.
Question mark?
Jason gathers everyone to end the show, and Jet finally figures out how to turn the text-to-speech off.
There's no way of knowing. Do we want to... we should unplug it. There we go. We'll make sure we have...
Before declaring the victor, Jason had some choice words for Josie.
Josie, the entire time that we did this, your fans... Josie cells were rigging every single competition in your favor. Anything that had somewhat of a subjective bias to it. Josie, we gotta turn in for Josie cells right now. There's a poll. Get in there, vote for Josie. Okay? That's a great way to win a competition. It's also a great way to ruin a competition and not make it competitive.
Then he addressed Letty.
Letty, I actually don't hate you. I think you definitely won this whole thing. But your fans, well, lower in number, are even more whacked out, and that disturbs me. But here's the thing. You smoked weed. And the first poster that Jet made in the kitchen is no phones, no weed. So you lost. And this is not a joke right now. I'm not you. You actually lost.
Yeah.
Josie, you know who Sam Hyde is?
I do now.
Okay. Do you know I'm a mastermind troll? Is that why you signed up for my game show and didn't read the contract? Whoopsie. The contract is stapled in the lower right corner. Wouldn't that throw you off right away? Dude. Read this underlined part for me, okay? If you can.
There is no guarantee that the participant will receive any compensation during their time as a participant in the fish tank.
Death penalty.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oops, we got scammed. So, that's it. You're both nice people. I don't actually dislike you. I fucking hate you. I hate you. Okay? Because here's the thing. All the production hiccups that we talked about, the show almost getting shut down, half that was from you. Half that was from you.
Jason said the fans are idiots for ever thinking this show was any good, and he was sickened by their posts on social media praising the show.
And I'm not joking. The streaming's done. That's over. Okay, we've moved on. We're doing big time shit now. World Peace 2 is happening. And the stuff that I am making in World Peace 2 is the old school MDE. Bringing back the old school MDE. The real culture, the real is happening right now, and I missed a huge shot today. That's not. I missed a huge shot today to be here for the finale. You gotta be here for the Fishtank finale, Mr. Goldstriker. That's it, y'all. Vance pill, Vance magazine. Let's go. Nah, MDE never dies.
So are we not getting our fish box?
To be perfectly honest with you, I don't know. I know that he had kind of a meltdown in the basement right before we came up here, so I need to talk to him. I'll see what I can do, but probably for now,
I'll leave. I'll
just
leave the room, I guess.
I mean, it doesn't. I'm sorry that you guys had to go through that. Let me talk to him. Can I go down to the basement and talk to him? Okay. Just, I guess, hang tight, but.
Okay, Letty, the fish box. Josie, just you didn't put in enough effort. It's nothing personal. Not for you.
And with that, everyone started to pack their bags. Chris went to talk to Jason one last time.
You got a segment?
Yeah. I have 1 second for you, Chris. And then I will kill you.
Look, man, I get it. The contract and stuff, but, it's taken 6 weeks to somebody's life. I think it would be at least fair to give her a fish box.
Time comes for us all, Christopher.
Yeah, it does. And time can be a... You know, thank you of all people who understand that. No?
No.
Fish box. Look, I would just at least give her a fish box. You know what I'm saying?
I don't need to give her a fish bucks. I don't want to give her a fish bucks. She has earned no fish bucks.
Do you know doing this kind of thing, what it could do to your reputation?
Chris, my reputation can't go any lower.
It can. It can always go lower.
She broke the rules!
Who?
Josie!
Well, how did she break them?
It says right right here, in plain English. Quid quo pro, ex Republica, section 9J, 14.135. She gets no fish bucks, no money, nothing! Good day, sir! You lose! Goodbye! Out!
I'm gonna head down and try to get my fish bucks on. Lisa, you always gonna take care of me on that or not?
You'll be paid handsomely.
Can I say something to you real quick?
What is it?
Would you like to have queso? You can sell them on the website if you want. Or just throw them out.
So shines a good deed. In a weary world. Josie! My boy, my beautiful boy! You won! You won the fish tank! You win! The grand prize, the fish bucks! It's all yours! Mr. King! Mr. King, come out, Mr. King! That's not Frank Hassel, Josie! That's Chad King! He wants for me!
Jason summoned everyone to the living room.
Josie, that's for you! You've won! And Letty, we've tortured you so much that we decided we have to pay you the same as a Amazon warehouse worker.
This is real?
Yeah, it's real. You won. Honey.
Jason explained how perfectly Letty had filled the role of villain, playing chicken with the truth the entire show.
Jet. Very proud of you. Thank you. I'll leave it at that. You can fill in the blanks. You know what I would say. This is like the most complex and difficult production ever. You did really good, man.
Thank you.
Goddamn.
It was hard, but very much worth it. Thank you for believing in me and letting me hold $250,000 because that's scary.
Always.
Then Sam addressed the fans.
But thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being here through this very weird thing. Thank you for being here through this weird thing. Josie, come here. Look, pull your hair back.
Show my eyebrows.
They're not growing back yet. I look like an alien suit.
You really did.
Really good job. All your fans are proud of you.
Good job.
You did a good job. You did. Letty, why don't you step up and say hi to your freak show? You're very impressive.
Hi.
Shake my hand.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't see.
I'm very impressed with you. You want to say something to these guys?
Thank you so much for supporting. And I'm really grateful for your support. And to the people who hated me, I made you mad. Nice. You got so mad.
Josie and Letty would get roles in the upcoming World Peace 2 show, and the two of them finally got to talk with each other for the first time without being competitors.
I wanted to say to Josie, good job, and you really deserve it for real.
I'm so glad. But I was going to be so scared that you couldn't do nothing.
Speak up, Josie.
I was going to feel extremely bad, but I'm really happy we both got so bad. I'm bad at saying stuff, so I think I'll stop now, but good job.
And with that, everyone packed their bags. Lifelong bonds had been formed and lifelong memories made. For the first time in 6 weeks, Josie and Letty stepped outside into the sunlight. And for the first time in 6 weeks, we couldn't see them anymore. But as the cast and crew gathered in the backyard to reminisce about the craziest 6 weeks of their lives, we could still hear them. Just for a few more moments.
Yes, baby, be a sipper!